sa Pasay.
Yes. Oh, Maricel just joined in. Maricel, kumusta ka? Maricel.
Okay na po. Okay na. It's already 3 o'clock.
Alright.
Sir Multimedia, we are ready when you are. Po.
Ako may pupukan pa.
O nga po.
1919 was an auspicious year in history. The First World War ended, ushering a drastic change in the world order. The Philippine Islands had been a U.S. territory for 2 decades and was promised independence under the Jones Law of 1916. Progressive reformers saw the country and its people as a major target for modernization, and education was its main weapon. 7 forward-looking Filipinas came together in 1919 to create a school where young women could gain the knowledge and skills that would make them modern women. Paz Marquez Benitez was the first president of the Philippine Women's College. Jose Abad Santos was its first chairman of the Board of Trustees. Francisca Tirona Benitez was the second president, and with her husband Dean Conrado, guided the school from a house on A. Flores Street to its iconic Taft Avenue campus. In 1932, the college became a university, making PWU the first university for women in Asia founded by Asians. It provided a space where innovations in education flourished, and young people were encouraged to be the best that they could be. For over 100 years, the Philippine Women's University has been known as a leader in quality education. In 1934, PWU moved into its main campus on Taft Avenue, and since the 1970s has been co-educational. Located in the heart of Metro Manila, it is easily accessible by public transport and surrounded by affordable housing. Today's PWU offers undergraduate and graduate courses in several fields of study. Its business and management programs are responsive to the needs of industry, using evolving technology for global competence. PWU graduates excel in arts and sciences, education, social work, and diplomacy. Its fine arts and music programs have produced outstanding graduates through a holistic education that treasures heritage as well as excellence. PWU has pioneered in fields such as food science, nutrition and dietetics, medical technology, pharmacy, and nursing. PWU continues to play an essential role in producing graduates who possess the skills that make them competitive in the country and anywhere in the world.
are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
It drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
but we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
So as we continue prioritizing the mental health and well-being of our PWU employees, and if we're going to set ourselves up for long-term success, we need to build on the lessons of the past 2 years. Since it is in challenging times that we most need to double down our mental resilience. A safe space for people to share their everyday struggles and a place where we could normalize mental health in the workplace, supporting each other in this critical way in a time that is extremely hard on our collective mental health. Don't be afraid to ask for help at work when you are very overwhelmed. For work-life integration has become scrambled with growing access to digital technology. Good afternoon, fellow PWU employees and all participants in Google Meet Room and in FB Live to our third Kumustahan this year, 2022. Good afternoon to our resource speaker and her companion, Sir Victor, and Miss Rachel from the Philippine Mental Health Association. I am Maria Sara de los Santos, Program Officer of the Institute of Family Life and Children's Studies, honored to serve as your host for today's Kumustahan. As usual, we will have our Q&A after the session. But before we begin, I would like to invite you all to our video prayer to be followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
Lord
di mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyat ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiid, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw, may dilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiligdig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig, lupa ng araw ng at ipagsintabay langit sa piling mo, aming ligaya dapat may mga abi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
To welcome all of us and introduce our resource speaker, we are lucky to have with us Ms. Mariel Benitez Havellana, Acting Head of Campus Life Department.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is with great honor that I welcome you today in this PWU Wellness Hub Kamustahan session, where we will talk about how we can face and meet the demands of the new normal. First of all, I'd like to congratulate and thank Dr. Lina Laigo and her team for continuously creating and providing us with programs that will help and guide us as we continue to adapt to the new normal. I'd also like to thank everyone here today for taking the time to listen and learn and become better individuals. It truly has not been a smooth sailing past few months, or in my case, the last few days, with COVID surges, lockdowns, constantly changing protocols and requirements. And because of these, I'm sure many of us deal with anxieties on a daily basis. As an athlete and a coach, I've always believed that sports is a microcosm of life. It teaches us the valuable lessons such as resilience, mental toughness, and adaptability. Lessons that allow me to take on challenges head on, failing at times, but oftentimes bouncing back to be stronger. And this is why it is important to focus not just on our physical fitness or wellness, but also in mental and emotional development. Nowadays, we see the importance of our mental health, and we've learned that it truly dictates how we live our lives, how we cope, or even make our everyday decisions. It truly is a great opportunity for us today to focus on learning and relearning ways on how we can adapt and thrive in the new normal. And today we have the honor to have with us our guest speaker. She is a registered psychologist, a graduate of a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from Far Eastern University, and earned her master's degree in clinical psychology from Polytechnic University of the Philippines. She handled recruitment and screening of applicants in Concerted Management Corporation and ProSearch Incorporated. She also worked as a lead support for operations and sales in IBM Global Business Services. With her interest in teaching, she became an assistant professor at Centro Escolar University from 2013 to 2017. At present, she works at the Philippine Mental Health Association, Clinical and Intervention Services Department as the program manager, and she oversees the implementation and conducts administrative functions relative to the programs and services of the department. She also handles case management of clients, which include psychotherapy sessions, interviews, and referral of clients. She has conducted numerous lectures on topics like suicide and depression, stress management, crisis management, emotional regulation, and basic counseling skills. Likewise, she became a guest speaker in PMHA's partner radio and television programs such as DZEC, Radio Agila Ito Ang Tahanan, DZRV Radio Veritas Katok Tahanan, and Net 25 Taong Bahay, where she discussed topics on mental health and other related topics that can help the listeners and viewers improve their approach to daily life. So, let's begin today's Wellness Hub Kamustahan session. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Miss Maria and Michelle Caparos Noscal.
Hello, good afternoon po to everyone. Magandang hapon. I hope everyone po ay nasa mabuting kalagayan. I'll just be sharing my screen.
Yes, Miss Michelle. Please. And po siguro excited na ang mga nandito. So habang nag-prepare,
po ulit, magandang hapon, and sobrang salamat po for inviting PMHA for this afternoon session, and hopefully we will be able to provide assistance po sa inyo, no? Sa kumustahan ninyo actually kanina, I'm so happy na naririnig ko po na nagkakakumustahan po ang bawat isa. So probably baka yung iba rin talaga ay hindi gano'n nakadalas na nagkikita-kita. So for this afternoon topic po, this is very relevant, this is very timely kasi as we observe, marami na rin yung bumabalik from the face-to-face. There are companies na hybrid and there are others naman na talagang they shifted to fully remote work. So this afternoon, we will tackle about the psychosocial competence. How are we going to meet the demands of the new normal? Okay, so for our key discussion points, we will define psychosocial competence and understand its significance, especially for the situational challenges or various challenges that we have, and recognize and identify the psychosocial challenges brought about by the pandemic and the new normal, especially the preparation for the face-to-face or the hybrid, or I think may blended din po, especially to our students. And we hope to acquire skills and practices that will enable to effectively cope and adjust to the new normal. And we will learn, of course, we will learn the psychosocial coping and support techniques. So later po, I'll also be sharing some of the techniques or strategies po, for everyone. So hindi lang po ito magagamit sa work, but also in any areas po ng inyong buhay, especially sa family, and to friends po. But before that po, just a quick pangungumusta lang, kung okay lang po sa inyo. Kumusta po kayo ngayong hapon? And if possible, pwede po kaya natin gawing parang lagay ng panahon? Like, maulan po ba ngayon sa inyo, kung sasagutin niyo yung kumusta ka? Maulan ba ang pakiramdam mo? Mainit ba? Makulimlim ba? Kung i-describe po ninyo ang inyong palagay sa inyong sarili kung kumusta po kayo ngayong araw. Maybe we can use the chat box po. Yan. So yung interpretation po ninyo yun, alam ko kayo rin po ang nakakaalam sa inyong sarili. Ayan, si Miss Sarah makulimlim. Si Sir Narciso malamig po. Baka malamig sa office. Malamig po. Ayan, sana medyo maging warm ng onte. Ayan, ano pa po? Meron pa pong, one word lang po, yan, pwede po. Yan, mainit ang araw sa labas. Oo nga po, pinagpala tayo kasi pag maulan, mahirap ang internet. Ayan. Chat lang po kayo, kung kumusta po. Maalinsangan. Ayan, maalinsangan ang pakiramdam. Okay, salamat po. Nararamdaman ko na nandyan kayo. Yun po yung challenge, pagdating sa online. Kasi hindi tayo nagkikita. Hindi ko kayo nakikita isa-isa. Ayan, thank you. Sumasagot po kayo. Very active. Ayan, maalinsangan, makulimlim. Ayan, makulimlim. Ayan, maraming salamat po. Okay. So, pwede pa po kayong mag-chat. Okay. chat nyo lang po, ihabol lang po ninyo no, ang inyong kasagutan. And for this afternoon po, bago ako mag-proceed sa ating proper lecture, meron lang po akong super quick lang po ito na quiz. Ano po, you can get po either sa cellphone po ninyo, sa notepad ninyo, or sa pwedeng, ayan, maliit lang na papel, or sa cellphone, kung pwede po kayong kumuha. Very ano lang po ito, short quiz lang po ito. Okay po, and wala rin pong tama or maling sagot. Ito po ay sa ating reflection, ano. Kanina, na-mention po yung tungkol sa resilience. So this one is about resilience. Ayan, how resilient are we? So for each question, score lang po natin between 1 to 5, wherein strongly agree tayo kapag 1 dun sa statement, and 5 kung tayo po ay strongly agree. So, 1, strongly disagree, and 5 po kung strongly agree. So yan, tatansyahin po natin, ano. Okay, I'll move forward po with the next. Ito na po yun. Okay, so you can just answer po sa inyong mga papel or sa inyong notepad sa laptop or phone. Okay. Sige po. Are we good na po? I'll go sa next slide natin. Okay, next po. Okay po. Next. Ayan. Ito na po yung last questions natin. I hope ay nakuha po ninyo ang 12 questions for this afternoon. So I decided po to include this questionnaire since resilience is a psychosocial construct. Kasama po siya doon sa natin, no, sa i-discuss natin this afternoon. So generally, as mentioned din po a while ago, no, this is about adaptive characteristics of an individual in terms of coping and recovering. So bouncing back whenever there is an adversity. Okay, so later po, we will get the scores po ninyo and yung ating interpretation. Okay, are we good na po? Okay.
Yes po, we're good.
Alright po. Pwede po ninyong i-add. Later po, yung interpretation natin, meron po tayong interpretation. Okay, so I'll proceed now po with our proper discussion. Thank you so much for your participation po. So now, we'll proceed with the psychosocial competence. I think madalas din po nating naririnig yung psychosocial, especially nitong dumating po yung pandemic kasi nagkaroon din ng psychosocial support wherein nandun yung online services. But before we probably describe or define psychosocial competence, let's define first what is psychosocial. So according to APA, or the American Psychological Association, psychosocial is describing the intersection and interaction of social, cultural, and environmental influences. So basically po kasama dito yung self-understanding natin, social relationships, as well as the mental processes. And with that, connected po yun, no, that person and his or her social world. Kaya po siya combination. So basic information about psychosocial, dito po papasok yung psychosocial health. Meron po tayo palang tinatawag na psychosocial health, which encompasses the mental. Ayan. Ito yung mental is the thinking you. Ito yung ating rational part. The emotional is of course the feeling. or the subjective side of the psychosocial health. This includes our emotional reactions to life. This includes yung ating intensified feelings, either love, hate, frustrations, anxiety, joy, and of course, the social health, the interactions po ito with others. This is the aspect of psychosocial health that includes the people around us. Our ability to use yung ating social supports. That's very important po, yung support system. And the ability to adapt to various situations. So, in terms of the social, dito po yung social bonds, dito yung social support. And last is the spiritual dimension. Kasama po ito even dun sa ating definition ng mental health. Kasama po si spiritual na. Kasi especially dumating nga yung pandemic, dito nakita ng mga studies and researchers po natin na it is very important na parte pala si spiritual aspect. So for the psychosocial health po, this is an inner quest for well-being. So in here, nandito yung ating sense of belonging, nandito yung feeling of connection natin to other people, pwedeng to nature, and of course, sa ating higher being, sa ating God, our higher being. Okay, so with these definitions, I think may idea na po tayo kung ano ang meaning ng psychosocial competence. Okay, so ayan po. With this, okay, according to World Health Organization, this is our ability to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. So, the psychosocial competence, probably baka ginagamit na rin po talaga natin ito even before pandemic. However, na-intensify kasi yung situation due to uncertainties, may mga bagay talagang hindi natin ma-predict. Sino ba ang makakapagsabi na darating tayo sa point na magkakaubusan pala ng alcohol sa grocery? And when you go to the groceries, parang feeling mo yun na yung travel mo kasi wala kang ibang mapuntahan. Hindi natin in-expect na dadating sa ganong pagkakataon ang sitwasyon po natin, especially from 2020. So those demands, those challenges na meron tayo, doon natin din nakita how important po yung areas as mentioned kanina, yung 4 na areas na iyon. And with this, ayan, it is a person's ability to maintain state of mental well-being and to demonstrate the positive and adaptive approach. So that sense po na pag sinabi nating positive approach, it implies that a person is forward-looking. Kahit na meron tayong sobrang difficult na situation that we think may hope pa ba ito, makakakita pa rin tayo kahit konting light and opportunities for us to find solutions. So ito po yung sinasabi na we are competent, We are competent to handle, and it's not just about knowledge, it's not just about skills, but it also involves po yung ability natin to meet complex demands by using and drawing yung psychosocial resources natin. And one po doon yung resilience. And others ng ating resources, yung ating po pagiging optimistic, yung ating pagiging positive, the coping styles that we use pag tayo ay may problem. And of course, personal control in terms of our emotions, of our behavior. So kasama rin po yun. And the social support. So makikita natin how important is the psychosocial competency kasi there is that vital role in the positive attributes of an individual. Kapag po ang isang tao ay may psychosocial competency or let's just say healthy psychosocially, you feel good about yourself. Nandun yung pakiramdam mo na kahit problemado ka na, nandun yung feeling I still feel good, And then you feel comfortable with other people. At pag meron pong tension, pag may mga worries or uncertainties tayo, nandun yung pag-manage ng thoughts natin, nandun yung pag-manage ng tension, and we are able to meet the demands of life. So malaki, maliit na problema, and we are able to resolve. Kung hindi man resolve on our own, of course, we seek assistance or help po from others. And then nandun din yung restraint natin sa hate and guilt feelings kapag tayo ay competent in terms of the psychosocial aspect. And very important po yung positive outlook. Malaking bagay yung perspective natin. And syempre, the appreciation and respect to our nature, since ito nga po ay psychosocial, so kasama din yung environment, and enrich the lives of other people. Andun po natin makikita how important yung lahat ng areas po pagdating sa social competency. I'll just share lang din po itong ating para siyang continuum in a way, no? Kasi sa mental health po, di ba, may mental health continuum. So for this one naman po, yung sa psychosocially unhealthy versus the psychosocially healthy, makikita po natin dito some of the description pagdating sa psychosocially unhealthy. So usually, si psychosocially unhealthy, dito po yung medyo pessimistic ang kanyang perspective. Pag may maliit na problema, parang pinagbagsakan na ng langit at lupa na hindi na alam kung ano kanyang gagawin. And then spiritually down, probably baka mahirap din po itong mapahappy, ano? Parang hindi din siya ganun ka-enjoy na may fun ng konti. And then has serious bouts of depression or down and tired most of the time. Or pwede rin pong challenge sa kanya to be around. And parang more of isolate kanyang go-to. And then experiences many illnesses, so mostly physically po, no? Masakit lagi ang ulo, aches, pains, and this is related to stress, ano po? Kasi pag stress tayo, usually talagang may physical manifestations po ito. And with that, yung pag-handle ng stress, doon din kasi natin makikita if we are handling them properly, appropriately, or healthily, or hindi. So, with another part po, dito sa medyo payelo pa rin ng onte, but pinapakita po dito na shows poorer coping than most, and often ay overwhelmed po sa mga nararanasan niya. Has regular relationship problems, yan, and tends to be critical of others. Nandun din po yung negative perspective. And probably po ay negative din ang kanyang circle. And lacks of focus pagdating naman sa kanyang ginagawa. And quick to anger, nandun papasok yung emotional regulation, medyo hirap siyang i-regulate yung kanyang emosyon. So may mga outburst, may possibility ng outburst. So makikita po natin on the psychosocially healthy, it works to improve in all areas. So recognizes strengths, alam mo ang kalakasan mo, alam mo ang kahinaan mo. That's very important kasi doon mo malalaman kung okay, I have to improve pala on this one. Kaya maganda din po talaga yung may feedback, ano? And we accept that feedback constructively kasi makakatulong yun sa atin. And then healthy relationships, of course, with the people around them and has strong social support. And ni-utilize niya yung social support na yun. Though probably meron pong konting improvement in the social skills, but usually no major problems naman doon sa part niya. And has occasional emotional dips, but overall good mental and emotional adapters po sila. And pagdating dun sa ating psychosocially healthy, ito na yung very much energetic, enthusiasm, and yung resilience. It enjoys yung kanyang challenges and focus. So basically, realistic sense of self and others po, and around sound coping skills. Open-minded din sila. Easily adapts to change and sensitive to others and the environment. And of course, has strong social support and healthy relationship with the family. So as we can see po, dito sa ating psychosocially unhealthy and psychosocially healthy, makikita natin how they really differ, no? Pagdating dun sa how they handle and manage po ang pakikipag-deal sa tao, pagharap sa problema, pagharap sa kanyang gawain araw-araw, and of course, pag-improve din. So paano ba na ini-improve ni psychosocially unhealthy? So mukhang medyo mahihirapan dun sa part na yon. Pero syempre hindi naman ma-stuck doon eh. You have to learn and you can learn, no? So that's for the psychosocial part po. So now, these are factors kasi nalaman na natin there are unhealthy terms in terms of the psychosocial skills or abilities. So ito po yung mga importanteng factors natin. So first is the family. We all know the family is very much important kasi dun tayo rooted. Kaya makikita rin po natin there are some na let's say from a dysfunctional family, for example. Kung dalawa silang from dysfunctional family, yung isa medyo talagang nahirapan siya and it can increase yung risk ng psychosocial problems. But the other one, kung other factors naman ay enough para makakover po yun, then probably he can cope, he can learn para kahit ano man yung naging background or maging background niya when it comes to family, makakatulong yun in order to become socially healthy or competent. And then the macro environment, dito naman po papasok yung ating society, the neighborhood, kung may sa school, failure, for example, sa unemployment, financial problems, natural disasters po kasama rin dito. And then the self-efficacy, it is another one factor po na you have to have that belief pagdating sa kakayahan mo that you can perform a task successfully. Parang nung dumating tayo sa pandemic, we are all uncertain, na hindi natin alam talaga kung anong mangyayari. But kahit nandun yung worries natin, kahit nandun yung pag-aalala natin, kumakapit tayo dun sa, kakayanin naman to. And nakita po natin how other people work, especially yung kunyari nawalan ng trabaho, paano sila naka-manage dun sa sitwasyon, paano sila nakaahon dun sa sitwasyon. And if they believe, nakakayanin nila, sige kahit nawalan ako ng work, may magagawa pa akong pamamaraan, then that can help. No? And of course, self-esteem, yung ating sense of self-respect, sense of self-worth. And another factor here is the learned helplessness, na pag may sunod-sunod na problema or sunod-sunod na failure, you feel like giving up, na parang you're always the victim. Parang ganun po si learned helplessness. On the other hand, si learned optimism naman is, of course, ito yung pwede nating turuan ng ating sarili to be positive. Not the toxic positivity, syempre, doon pa rin tayo sa realistic. But we can start with positive affirmations about sa ating sarili. Pag you feel like parang hindi ko yata nagagawa ng tama yung mga demand sa akin sa trabaho, pwede tayong humingi ng feedback. And from that feedback, pwede natin kahit paano, okay, kahit paano pala, ginawa ko naman pala ng tama. Na-appreciate naman pala. No? And then the personality, this is one of the biggest factor din po. No? Kasi for this one, ito na kasi yung trait natin. And those positive traits, pagdating sa psychosocial health, dito papasok yung openness to experience, our emotional stability, our resiliency, our conscientiousness. And of course, yung lifespan po and maturity. Mapapansin natin, our temperaments or our disposition change as we move through life. Sa ating mga decisions, sa ating mga ginagawa, makikita natin yung difference kung ano yung mga pinipili natin ngayon versus noon. Tama po, no? So those are some of the factors influencing the psychosocial health or competency. Okay, so I hope you are still with me dahil hindi ko po kayo nakikita lahat, but I'll proceed. Ayan. Thank you, Ms. Sarah. So now, as mentioned a while ago, ang daming tinuro sa atin ng pandemic, ang daming tinuro sa atin ng sitwasyon natin from the past 2.5 years. And we might feel really parang overwhelmed. Pwedeng hanggang ngayon, parang overwhelmed pa rin tayo. So those challenges, here are some of the challenges po from that experience. And ngayon naman, we can say naman na nandun pa rin. Lalo na parang tumataas po yata ulit ngayon ang cases. So hopefully that kind of uncertainty ay hindi naman ulit maulit kagaya ng nakaraan. So because we are living through this challenging time, syempre yung resilience din po natin ay nag-grow. Na kumbaga na-test mo din yung sarili mo. How did you survive? Kung kaano tayo ka-thankful na nakasurvive and now magkakasama tayo ngayon. Those kinds of reflection can also help us na patuloy na mag-move forward despite the challenge and difficulties po natin. So when it comes to the transition to the new normal, kung ano man po yung magiging new normal na yun, and baka probably we have different definition of new normal. But for the challenges, here are some. Okay, so lack of accurate and timely information, nakaka-cause po ito ng confusion and psychological distress, especially during the time na talagang info overload tayo. Or nag-umpisa tayo nang wala tayong alam about the virus, pero padami ng padami yung alam natin. And yun nga yung tinatawag na infodemic, na punong-puno na tayo ng information, so makaka-confuse na sa tao, makaka-cause pa siya ng psychological distress. And of course, we all know the economic problems, the increasing cost, scarcity, yung necessities ng tao, and our occupational and financial. So for this one, yung mga businesses po natin, we all know talagang naapektuhan din the people, their people. And some din talagang na-retrench, nawalan ng trabaho, nawalan ng ganong income. Pero nakita natin, no, kung titingnan natin yung different lens of it, mas naging creative yung iba, nakapagtayo siya ng business, provide siya, parang doon pa niya nakuha na ito pala yung sagot doon sa hinihintay-hintay niya in terms of the finances. So makikita rin po natin how people see it differently and how people take it differently. Okay, and then of course, the psychosocial distress, our concern about getting infected, probably right now, we still have that, lalo na po pag lumalabas, lalo na po maraming tao. Ang nakikita ko rin po kasi, no, talagang sa commute ngayon, para siyang yung old normal. No, sa MRT, sa bus. So that fear of getting infected, the fear of death, the hopelessness about the future, ito po yung mga ilan sa naging challenges din. And the stigma, that's one na medyo naging mabigat, especially the first year siguro, ang dami pa rin nakaka-experience ng stigma. And the suspension of social rituals, yung mga activities natin before. But I think right now, kahit pa paano, nakakabalik-balik na tayo ng konti at nakakapagkita-kita na ng personal. Iba pa rin po kasi talaga, no, kapag yung interaction natin ay personal, may personal touch din. And yan, as I have mentioned, ay ang ating stigma na sa ngayon, I guess, hindi naman na siya ganun hindi kagaya ng mga umpisa. So that's in general po, no, ito yung ating naging challenge. But in the context of the workplace, I would like to share this as well, the psychosocial risk factors during the pandemic. Pwede din kasi itong maging, in a way, basis po ninyo in terms of paano ba mas makakombine yung meron tayong pag-take care doon sa COVID na hindi magkaka-COVID ang mga papasok on-site. At the same time, yung ating psychological and mental health. So, the first one here is the environment and equipment. So many workers are getting worried about getting infected sa trabaho, especially noon, ano po. So the physical working environment, including yung workplace, yung layout ninyo, the exposure of the people, yung magiging logistics nila, that's very important din. Yung mafe-feel po ng ating mga employees na safe space. Yung pag nag-on-site sila, safe space yon. Makakabawas yun sa stress nila kasi na-take care siya properly. So that's one po. And then workload. Yan. Workload, work pace, and work schedule. So even before the pandemic, ang heavy workload naman din talaga is related to increased absenteeism, self-reported na physical health na problem, and even mental health concerns and burnout. So mas maganda din matingnan yung how this workload or work is, especially kung magkakaroon ng, let's say, skeletal ba siya, the scheduling as well. So on the other hand, yung underload naman, including yung monotonous naman yung task niya, mafe-feel naman niya na parang hindi siya satisfied doon sa job. So that part, related din yun, no, doon sa job satisfaction, yung well-being naman yung mafe-feel niya. So titingnan siya both. The balance is very important on that part. And then violence and harassment, for this one, usually, according to studies, tumataas po ang violence and harassment kapag merong outbreak, diseases outbreak. Kaya ito, titingnan din talaga siya. Well, even before, ito naman parte din na tinitingnan ng any organization. Ano po. And then, aside from that, syempre yung ating work-life balance. Napaka-importante naman syempre ng work-life balance kasi makikita natin how people are more productive kapag meron itong work-life balance. Nung nagkaroon po ng nagkaroon tayo ng remote, nakita natin doon, ang takot kasi ng mga organization noon, huwag tayong magpa-remote kasi baka hindi sila mag-work properly or baka hindi nila gamitin talaga yung time. However, according to studies, baliktad. Naging sobrang overwork po ang mga employees nung nagkaroon na talagang remote fully. So doon naman pumasok yung nahihirapang ibalanse when it comes to yung boundaries, no, sa bahay, yung boundaries sa trabaho. So the work-life balance, kung ito man ay full face-to-face or ito man ay hybrid, dapat ibabalansa siya. And then the job security, so the uncertainty again of the future and the lack of guaranteed ng employment. Associated din po siya sa increased stress and anxiety and depression and burnout. Okay, and this also include yung ating management leadership. Of course, alam natin the management leadership, doble din yung kanilang difficult challenges. Multiple actually kasi they are of course sa self, sa family, sa workers, sa customers nila, sa suppliers nila, and all, and even the government and the financial. So for this one, napaka-important din na si management leadership has yung sa kanyang competency para the people, yung subordinates niya, makakagrasp siya doon ng positibong perspective when it comes to the work, when it comes to the job being asked. And the communication, information, and training. So we all know this, the collaboration, and yung sense of belonging. Kasi pag tayo ay naka-remote and then wala man lang a form of regular kumustahan online or Zoom-mustahan na tinatawag, there's a possibility na parang wala kang connection to these people, and it is really difficult din po sa new, no, yung mga bagong hire, kaya maganda merong talagang regular comms. And the health promotion and prevention of negative coping behaviors. So that's another factor kasi sa psychosocial risk, yung work-related stress, usually pag hindi healthy yung kanyang coping, ang nangyayari, nauuwi either vices or poor eating habits, nawawala yung self-care. And the social support, syempre. It is important po sa ating workers and sa ating well-being. So even yung nagpapatupad nito, napaka-importante. Lahat, kumbaga walang exempted. And the psychological support. So in workplaces where adequate psychological support is provided, yung nababawasan ng work-related stress and other mental health concerns. Kasi nakakapag-seek sila, yung hindi sila natatakot magsabi na medyo may kakaiba na po akong nararamdaman for the past 2 weeks. I think I need help. Baka meron po kayong mai-refer sa akin. So pwede yun. At least you are open, wala yung stigma. Hindi sila matatakot magsabi at humingi ng tulong. Okay. So now, kung okay lang po, just to feel kung kayo ay nandyan pa, pwede ko pong malaman sa inyo, just one word lang. What does a new normal look like? Para po sa inyo. If you can share it sa ating chat box. Ano ba yung new normal sa atin? Hopefully po ay nandyan pa kayo.
Present pa.
Present pa. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Sarah. Scary. Okay.
Ano ba ang new normal?
Oo, maaaring iba-iba kasi yung interpretation talaga natin ng new normal. Thank you. New normal, new ways of seeing life from vantage points. Thank you. New adventure. Ayan, nakakatuwa. Nakikita natin. Doing things differently which one may not be used to be doing. New beginning. Okay. Challenging. Transition. Okay, nakakatuwa. Thank you so much po sa inyong pagpaparamdam sa akin. Ayan, innovations and flexibilities. Ayan. Thank you, thank you. Okay po. So you may continue, no? Pwede pa ninyong i-chat po sa ating chat box ang ating sagot, ang inyong napag-isipan pagdating sa new normal. When it comes to the definition po ni new normal, yun nga, no, a state to which an economy or a society settles following a crisis. So ginamit yung term na yun noong 2008 po, nung time na merong global recession, nung nagkaroon ng financial condition po. But after nung 2008 na yun, ito na yung next na ginamit yung term na nagkaroon ng pandemic, ng COVID. So, bumalik ulit yung term na yon. And according to another definition of this expression was meant to explain to people that life as we knew it before was not going to be the same. Parang nakita ko rin to dun sa ating na-share kanina, no? Na maaari hindi na din talaga siya kagaya ng dati. Pwedeng kamukha, pero hindi talagang parehong-pareho. Other definitions that I saw din po for this one is yung reimagining life after crisis. And probably new routines, new way of life due to the changes, or others, new measures, new policies, or new protocols. We may have this different circumstances then, but doon din papasok yung ating different ways, no, different ways na ma-define siya kung ano siya ngayon. But with the psychosocial support and the psychosocial competency, kung tayo ay healthy, in a way, very essential siya, especially during this time. Okay, so thank you for sharing po that. And this is just a quick rundown on how can we provide psychosocial support. Maaaring ginagamit na po natin ito before, hindi lang natin alam na psychosocial support pala yung tawag doon. But, ayan, very lang po to, very basic lang. When someone asks for your assistance or help, kailangan nandun yung sincerity natin, yung pag-encourage and reassurance and the compassion. And whenever we listen actively, we listen empathically. Hindi yung we only ask questions or we only provide advice, lalo na kung unsolicited advice naman. Some people just need someone na makikinig sa atin. And then validate and avoid minimizing. Ano po nito, no? With some of the concerns na related or na-share din is about pag nag-open up sila ng isang problema, let's say isang estudyante sinabing ang hirap naman ng subject na ito, hindi ko na yata ito maiipasa. So nagkukwento siya sa klase niya, at sasabihin sa kanya, ang dali-dali lang naman yung problema mo, pwede naman ganito, pwede naman ganyan. So that's minimizing. Parang in-invalidate mo na kung ano yung nararamdaman niya. So that person, baka hindi na siya ulit mag-open up pagdating na mayroon siya ulit concern, no? So we have to be very much aware of it. Baka minsan napapabigla tayo na nakapagsabing, ganito lang ang gawin mo dyan. So we really have to be cautious sa ating ding mga sinasabi, no? That's why pag gusto mo talaga ding magbigay ng advice, pwede kang magsabi sa kanya, is it okay lang ba na i-share ko sa iyo yung pwedeng suggestions ko? Yan. Para at least, sige, okay lang. So klaro, hindi yung ma-feel niya na invalidated siya. And then, of course, we have to avoid judgment. Wala namang gustong maging ma-judge. So anything na, let's say, kakaiba sa perspective mo or different man sa tingin mo, sa idea mo, you have to avoid na i-judge yung sinasabi niya. Okay? And check back in. Kapag meron pong nag-open up sa inyo at nagkwento, syempre hindi naman natin parang i-drop na after. Pero hindi din na naman natin araw-araw kukulitin, oh, kumusta na ba yung ganito? Okay ba yung ganyan? Na-resolve na ba? So hindi din naman. But parang bibigyan natin ng time na okay, mukhang pwede ko naman siyang kumustahin. Kahit yung simpleng kumusta lang, ma-feel niya na okay, nandun talaga din yung sincerity niya to help. Okay? And aside from this is for individual. I also included, I hope this will help. How can the company provide or the organization provide psychosocial support? So first, we can integrate the psychological support initiatives. I think like this one, itong inyo pong ginagawa na providing them yung information, providing them the skill, kung ano yung kanilang pwedeng gawin as an individual at pwede nilang mai-apply to their families, to their friends, and to the workplace. Okay, so that's one. So you can integrate that. And of course, ito rin po, one suggestion is to create a body system to monitor stress and burnout and to provide psychological support. So kung may ganitong possible na, yan, alam mo kung magkukumustahan kayo from time to time, nakakapag-unload yung ka-work mo ng kanyang nararamdaman. With our team po sa clinic, we do this monthly debriefing. Kasi doon nga rin kasi most of our clients din talaga syempre na-absorb din po talaga araw-araw yung yung pag-handle. So we have to have that regular debriefing. So very helpful din po siya when it comes to the people kasi nakaka-regain ng energy at nakakakuha ng energy sa isa't isa. So aside from that, make stress reduction and self-calming techniques available. So meron tayong mga apps. Meron tayong mga relaxation apps po na you can also check on. Pwede ninyong i-try. Yung online relaxation, kung pwede ninyong subayan ang isang breathing exercise, or pwedeng sa team, meron kayong activity wherein parang stress reliever, or either pwede kayong mag-dance, or pwede kayong yung fun, pwede rin pong ganun. No? You can be as creative pagdating doon sa part na yun. And another one, inform both managers and workers about how they can access. Ito na po yung binabanggit ko kanina na meron kayong referral process in a way na let's say may lumapit, kailangan ng counseling or psychotherapy sessions. Pag lumapit sa inyo, alam niyo kung saan niyo siya i-direct properly. So this can also be related to EAP or yung Employee Assistance Program, or depende po I think ito sa ating organization. But that can be very helpful. Nakaka-lessen din kasi siya ng stigma na hindi sila matatakot magsabi, mag-open up. And syempre, it's also important to value and recognize good work and performance ng ating mga employees. And last is use supportive approaches. For example, recognizing and normalizing emotions related to shared experiences. Na when you do the debriefing, for example, or kagaya po ninyong inyong kumustahan, dahil dun sa shared experiences na yun, nakikita ninyo na, hindi lang pala akong na-stress, hindi lang pala ako yung na-anxious, nararamdaman din pala nila yun. So, nakakakuha ng lakas sa bawat isa. Okay. So, now I'll proceed. I still have time. Now I'll proceed with the psychosocial coping and strategies. This is for everyone po. No? We all have this problem at some points in our life na hindi natin mga maiiwasan. So, the coping strategies is for us to manage kung stress man yan, problem man yan, so we can control our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior before the situation, during the situation, even after the challenging situation. So, similar to COVID, pre-pandemic, that's our old normal. And then the new normal, this is now. And then after this, yung worry natin, ano ba yung, may post-pandemic ba? Or may, ano ba to, new normal ba to? Or now normal ba to? So that level, nandun yung ating way na nakakapag-cope tayo, nakakapag-cope ang bawat isa. So similar to, let's say you are working from home for the longest time, 2 years, biglang babalik ka, ano yung meron sa during pagbalik mo, ano yung dapat mong paghandaan. And after nun, whenever na ikaw ay nakahook na, yung after the challenging situation, paano ako mag-a-adjust sa commute, paano ang aking food, yung mga ganun na, no? So, basic, but we have to understand na kakailanganin din natin talaga silang bigyan ng panahon para mapag-isipan at mapaghandaan. So, with that, I will be sharing this. Meron po tayong coping wheel. Ayan. Research related to coping, nagka-identify po sila ng 400 strategies and multiple classifications. But for this one, this is a diagram lang din na nagpapakita ng coping families. I'd like to share this to you kasi ito ay maaaring resources ninyo kapag meron kayong mga challenges. So as you can see, meron tayong personal abilities. So resource mo yon. Meron sa personal abilities, nandito yung self-comforting, your emotional regulation, behavior regulation, emotional expression, and emotion approach. So dun sa part na yun, pag nakita mo mukhang kakailanganin ko yata ng improvement sa emotion regulation, at least alam mo na pag pinag-aralan mo siyang ma-improve, source of strength mo siya kapag meron kang challenge or problem. The other one is actions. Under actions, may dalawa pong nahati, problem solving and information seeking. So sa problem solving, dito yung ating strategies, the instrumental action, the physical, and then the planning. Plus the information seeking, yung reading, observations, and asking others. So yung palang pagtatanong, yun pala ay coping. So ang catch lang doon, dapat yung tatanungin din natin kasi kanina doon sa unhealthy, negative din. So kung negative din yung tatanungin natin, di doubling negative. So as much as you can, doon tayo din sa trusted person natin. And then the available options for us, nandun yung negotiation, nandun yung accommodation. So kaya ba natin when it comes to handling it? So baka kailangan natin ng priority setting. Baka kailangan natin ng persuasion, kailangan natin ng bargaining. In the accommodation, probably we need acceptance or surrender. Sometimes hindi na talaga natin hawak. So minimization, cognitive restructuring, reframing your thoughts, reframing your perspective, and distraction. Healthy distraction sana, yung ating distraction. And then social resources or yung ating tinatawag na support seeking. So sabi ko nga kanina, it's very important to have these people na pinagkakatiwalaan mo at magre-reach out ka sa kanila, no? Lalo na pagpakiramdam mo, kailangan mo ng someone na makikinig sa'yo, mapapagsabihan mo. So dito papasok yung contact seeking, comfort seeking, yan. And then instrumental aid, ito yung physical help or assistance, and then the spiritual support. So ang daming sources when it comes to coping. Kailangan lang nating itap sila from time to time para alam natin na okay, marami pala akong options. Kung may isa akong problema, dun sa study na 400 strategies daw yun Hindi man mag-fit dun lahat, pero for sure meron at meron na maaaring mag-fit dun para ma-resolve ko. But at the end of the day, we have to understand na may mga bagay din talagang we need to surrender. No? Parang yung pandemic nga na kahit anong gustong gawin natin during the 2020-2021, talagang yung surrender, yung pinakamalaking help kasi hindi na natin siya controllable, hindi na natin siya kayang i-manage pa or ihawakan pa. So wala na siya sa grasp natin. So with that po, hopefully this one can also be helpful para sa inyo. So how can we cope effectively and adjust to the new normal or the now normal? Importante pong you give yourself a break. We are still in this extraordinary time na pandemic pa rin naman, but it's more of kahit pa paano nakakagalaw na tayo. Pero in terms of adjusting your expectations, let's say sa anak mo na laging nagkakalat sa bahay, lagi kayong nagsisigawan, baka naman dahil hindi din siya nakakalabas noong time na yon, kaya ganun yung nangyayari pagdating sa bahay. So probably you can adjust your expectation and mas gamitin mo siyang way para makakonect ka dun sa anak mo. Pwedeng ganun, So give yourself a break to all of your expectations na hindi naman din talaga realistic doon sa panahon na yon. So that's one. Next is, importante rin lagi po itong nire-remind. I think in every webinar, you have to be kind and you have to practice acceptance. Kind about anything tungkol sa iyong sarili. Time to celebrate kahit mumunting wins lang din yan. And you have to feel your emotion kahit negative siya. Kasi yun yung makakatulong for you to accept it and to move forward. Okay, ang pinaka-isa pa rin, of course, ay ang build mental fitness and invest in mental health. During this pandemic, nakita dito yung kahalagahan. Parang nag-boom nga si mental health na talagang ang dami din na kahit may takot mag-share or mag-open up, humingi ng tulong, dumating sa point na ganun. Kasi doble yung stress, doble yung anxiety. So it's good na dapat meron tayong investment, no, with this area. And of course, start adapting and build a new routine. Kanina nung tinanong ko kayo, how's the definition for you ng new normal? So, we all know na any kind of change can be hard, pero that change, pwede din siyang nating gamitin, pwede din siya nating gamitin for us to improve on things, on our routine. And we can make it as creative as we can, no, sa activities natin. Pwede rin yun. So, wag nating i-limit, wag nating i-box. Basta importante, dapat nandun tayo sa healthy na area yung ating gagamiting ang coping. And stay connected. Napaka-importante po nito. And syempre, stay informed. Stay informed pero wag naman yung sobra-sobrang informed na stress ka na. Kaya din ang isang advice dito sa information is bigyan mo lang ng time. Update mo lang yung sarili mo, get information from the reputable sources, and after that, okay na, updated ka na. So that's, at least hindi na ganun yung tutok, no? Yung sinasabi natin na info overload na. Okay. So, with this, I have additional coping strategies and techniques. So, paalaala lang din po ito sa bawat isa na syempre stress ay ating parte ng normal na buhay and there are things that we really cannot control but we can control our response. We can control kung ano yung sa tingin natin mas makakabuti for us. So, it's good to foster wellness. Holistic po ito, yung pagkain, pagtulog, pagpapahinga, pag-exercise. You have to find your purpose. You have to know your why. Bakit mo ginagawa ang isang bagay? Bakit ka nandito? Bakit mo ito ginagawa? The purpose as well, pwede ka ditong help others, extend your hand to other people. You can be productive. You can move forward or move toward your goals. And you can look for opportunities for self-discovery and why. Bakit mo, ano yung gusto mo ma-discover sa iyong sarili. And keep a positive attitude. Siyempre po, sometimes, sabi natin yung positibong yun talaga can make the difference. Our attitude can help offset yung ating difficult situation. So, that perspective, pwede tayong matuto doon na, okay, pwede palang gawing, tingnan ko pala sa different lens ang sitwasyon na ito. And accept that there are events you cannot control. The circles of control na tinatawag. There are things na sabi ko nga, talagang surrender lang din minsan. And with the surrendering, doon mo ma-feel na after a while, ay resolve na pala siya. Resolve na pala yung problema. Okay, and then coping, do an activity that you enjoy. So try to find that meaningful activities every day. Find your stressors and effective ways to cope them. Importante yung finding, importante yung identifying para alam mo kung ano yung i-resolve mo. Bakit kaya laging mainit yung ulo ko every time na uuwi ako ng bahay? You have to find out why. Kasi baka mamaya, sisi ka ng sisi dun sa kasama mo sa house, yung pala nasa iyo pala yung, ikaw pala yung stressor sa bahay. No? And how are you gonna handle that? How are you gonna improve that kung yun pala yung madidiscover mo? And then connect with people. You have to cultivate the social support. And syempre, we have to seek help. Huwag po tayong matatakot, especially now, ang dami-dami na rin pong nag-offer naman talaga. Especially to mental health. Maraming mga online services, maraming mga 24/7 din na hotline. So, huwag po tayong matatakot humingi ng tulong. And this one, I just like to share lang din po ito para mas meron tayong visual, no, kung how are we gonna reflect pagdating dun sa control the uncontrollable. Yung control the uncontrollable, ito yung kadalasan ng sinasabi ng mga athlete, lalo na kapag yun sa mga trainings nila. And for this one, ang sample po natin dito, for example, ikaw ay sa isang situation, let's say reviewing ang isang challenging meeting. So, doon sa experience mo na meeting na yon na medyo challenging, ano yung mga can control and ano yung mga went well or naging successful na ginawa mo. So, doon sa i-identify mo na mga things na ginawa mo, let's say for example, dumating ba lahat ng attendees, prepared ba sila lahat? Accurate ba yung ni-report nila? So makikita natin doon sa bawat area na yun, ilalagay lang po natin kung ito ay pasok sa control at naging successful, pasok sa control pero not so well, pasok sa cannot control and not so well, went well pero can't control. So kung gagawa po kayo or magre-reflect kayo pagdating sa pagdating sa graph na ito, i-identify natin yung lahat ng makakapunta sa box ng can't control and went well, yun po, yun require no action ka na doon. Pero pwede mo siyang i-review. No? After some time, pwede mo rin siyang source. Na, okay, pwede kong gawin ulit yun kasi controllable ko, tapos successful siya. Pero pag pumasok dun sa can control and not so well, it's important to ask yourself how you could have handled it differently. Paano ko ba siya dapat hinandle para the next time, alam mo na. Pero once na na-identify mo na siya, dapat you let go. Hindi yung nakastay ka doon na dapat pala ganun yung ginawa ko, dapat pala sinabit ko kaagad, dapat pala binanggit ko ito doon, or hindi yata naging okay din talaga yung result. So, ang isang key po doon is you do not dwell. Okay? So, things that we can control, the way we respond. Yung sa situation ngayon, syempre, yung protective measures pa rin natin, no, to prevent the infection. What information yung ating ibibigay. So, that's one. Pero dun sa mga uncontrollable, talagang we have to revisit na lang din sila. Kasi ngayon, hindi natin sila magagawa ng paraan. Cannot control it. So, accept what cannot. Okay, so for this one, pwede yun yung gamitin as a sample or graph po natin. And then, for the basic mindful stop, kapag sobrang intense ang inyong pakiramdam, pwede ninyong gamitin itong stop. So, stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed. So, when we say stop, i-delay mo lang yung reaction mo muna dun sa stress or dun sa taong medyo na-stress ka, that can make a big difference. So, meron tayong 60 to 90 seconds bago mag-kick in sa brain natin yung na tayo ay stress na eh. So, kung i-delay mo siya, pwede siyang malesen. So, it can help. And then, while you do that, pwede kang mag-breathing. So, hindi natin makokontrol ang physiological responses natin. Pero, when it comes to our breathing, kaya natin yung gawin. So, doon sa part ng breathing, pwede po ninyong gawin yung, take 3 slow, deep, and mindful breaths, or yung take 5 breathing. So, for example, itong hand natin, ito po. So, pag ipaakyat ang ating kamay, yung kabilang kamay ninyo, that's the inhale, and then yung sa kabila, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 5 lang naman po ang kamay natin, so maiksi lang ito. Yan. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. After nun, pag medyo stress ka pa, kabila naman. Inhale, exhale. Alam ko maraming mga, rin po, stressors talaga from time to time. Pero this one is very, very useful ito. So, you can take that, you can use that. And observe. Pag sinabi natin observe, yung HTC, ayan, you hear, touch, and see. Yung see po dito talagang yung see, yung SEE. So, you can, more of grounding ito. However, you have to remember na thoughts are thoughts, feelings are feelings. Hindi pa siya yung talagang hindi pa siya yung talagang fact. Lalo na yung mga nasa sa isip natin, hindi pa siya yung fact, thought pa lang siya. So, wag nating iubusin yung energy natin doon, especially sa mga sa mga talagang nagdidwell too much when it comes to thoughts. And then P is proceed. Okay, proceed with whatever we need to do with a smile. So kung meron kang kinakagigilang someone at ikaw ay napapasigaw na, nakalma mo yung sarili mo, nakahinga ka, at least hindi mo siya masisigawan. You respond, not react. So yun po yung ating tatandaan. Kapag tayo ay mindful, hindi lang basta-basta tayo react lang ng react. Ibig sabihin, we respond properly, no? Yan. Okay. So, konti na lang po. I think I'm almost done. So, another reminder lang to everyone, self-care is not selfish. So, we have to take time para pangalagaan ang ating sarili. I have here a self-care plan na pwede po ninyong gawing pattern. Pwede po ninyong gamitin siya. And you just have to reflect, no, kung ano yung mga areas doon sa physical, for example, ano ba yung mga pwede mong gawin, psychosocial, and even sa workplace po kasama dito, yung pag-take care natin sa ating sarili. Okay, so I think you are all aware of this, pero kailangan lang minsan ng aksyon, no, na patuloy nating pangalagaan ang ating sarili. And last is, I'd like also to share this, the 4 S's of resilience. Kasi meron din, kung may self-care plan, may resilience plan. So si resilience plan, kasama dito yung support to the people, strategies, so our coping strategies. Ako ba ay nag-breathing noon? Tapos ano ba siya? Effective ba siya? Ako ba ay nag-exercise noon? Nakahinga-hinga ako ng onte? Mas magaan na pakiramdam. And then the sagacity, ito naman yung wisdom and insight that we hold on to, that gives us comfort, give us hope. Some people, pag may sinabi sa atin, parang isang phrase lang, tapos tatatak siya sa atin, pwede yun. That's one. Or nabasa mo sa Bible, nabasa mo sa libro, yan, very comforting. Pwede mo siyang balikan when you feel like, wala na yata akong source of strength. And last is solution-seeking behavior, where you can show ano yung mga ginawa mo during the time na ikaw ay nagka-problem. So, ako ba ay lumapit? Ako ba ay tumawag ng tulong? Ako ba ay pumunta sa doktor ko? Ayan. So, this is the solution-seeking behavior. So, ang stress na meron tayo, pre-pandemic man yan, ngayon man yan, or post-pandemic, now normal, new normal, yung stress na yon, we have to see that, we have to own that stress, and we have to use it. So gamitin natin yon with all the strength na makikita mo dito sa personal resilience na meron ka. Ano mo siya pwede mo siyang balikan from time to time. Pwede mo rin siyang i-update. Na, nagawa ko siya, na-resolve ko siya. So with that, I think I'm almost done and I will be reflecting na po ang inyong score. So I'll proceed na, Miss Sarah, no?
Yes.
All right, I'm on time. Okay. So here's our score. 0 to 37, developing level of resilience. An established level of resilience, 38 to 43. And then a strong level of resilience, above average score, and an exceptional level of resilience. So makikita po ninyo ang ating classification. Ito po is not to test kung meron kayong mental health concern or anything po. This is just for you to reflect on. sa inyong sarili, ano ba yung pagiging matatag ko? Gaano ba ako katatag sa mga problema? Gaano ba ako katatag kapag merong mga dumarating sa akin hindi ko in-expect? No? So makikita natin how strong we are. At pag nakita mong, nandun pa lang ako sa developing, it's okay. Pwede pa namang mapagtutunan. Sabi nga dun sa kanina, no, when it comes to coping, napakadami nating pwedeng pagkuhaan ng options on how are we gonna manage kapag may problem tayo. Okay? And with that po, this is just a reminder to everyone, an empty tank will take you exactly nowhere. So take time to refuel. Especially you're helping people, lagi nating na when we are helping people, dapat meron tayong pangtulong at yung sarili natin yun. Kailangan mo mag-refuel regularly. Okay, so thank you. I hope I'm on time, Miss Sarah.
Yes,
Maraming salamat.
Very conscious naman tayo sa time. Ayan, at meron pa tayong panahon for the Q&A. Dahil dito, may kinausap ako. Sabi nga ni Doc Lina, baka nag-overlap na kami sa HR. So, kanina kausap ko si Miss Sarah. Sabi ko, Miss Sarah, meron ka bang si Miss Zara naman, si Miss Zara Elaine Alilio ng HR kanina. Sabi ko sa kanya, baka meron kang insight, points, ganyan on the topic na i-discuss this afternoon as HR. Ayan, maganda po kasi sa kumustahan, parang ito yung safe space namin na magbahagian ng maraming bagay. Sabi nga ng aming university president, ayan, safe kayo dyan kasi pwede kayong magkwentuhan dyan. Ayan po. So, Miss Sarah, are you there? Ready for some points? Miss Sarah? Alilio? Yes. Ayan.
For a moment, ma'am, medyo mabagal ata yung net ko.
Okay. Ayan. Si Miss Sarah.
Ayan. Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon po. Good afternoon po to all of our participants. So, siguro po I'll just share some insights and takeaways from this webinar po and talk. So, since nasa new normal na tayo, while listening to the webinar, actually, may mga like things that I'm doing ngayon na yun nga po, nasa transition na tayo ng new normal. So, siguro po dun sa support seeking, for me, in my case, so actually parang, just to share na rin po siguro, from these past few months, I feel like I'm in a quarter life crisis. But I feel like na I am lost at times. So yeah, what I do actually was, of course, to seek support from trusted person or the people around me that I really trust. So isa siya talaga sa nakatulong sa akin personally as a person. Yeah. Na like a top from other people na this is what you're doing, like to wake me up on the things that I've accomplished already. Ayun po. And then isa rin siguro sa mga ginawa ko is that yung mga coping strategies na ginawa ko since before the pandemic, yung mga hobbies ko na to cope with stress and burnouts is like playing sports, like table tennis, taking photos, because that's are my interests or hobbies. But yun nga, because of the pandemic, medyo hindi ko na siya magagawa on that time. So I tried to adapt with it, like yung ginawa ko ng stress reliever ko is yung cuddling with my cat. So sila na lang lagi yung pinipicturean ko for me to feel calm, relaxed, like that po. And then also yung since ngayon nga na bumabalik na tayo slightly, yung pwede na tayong lumabas at times, yun nga, parang I'm trying na rin na parang to go outside na like do the things that I usually do, like yung playing sports or table tennis. Ayun nga. And then one isa pa is that yun nga, during the webinar with Miss Teen, hi Miss Teen, nakita ko po kayo na nandito ka sa webinar, during the self-care, is of course yung self-care. Take time or take a break, take some time to take care of yourself. To go away with stress at moments. So, yun po talaga. So, ayun nga, again, since andito na rin po tayo, I would like, again, to promote the self-care kit. So, meron din po tayong self-care kit in our Google Classroom, which the employees can visit if ever they want to share on their coping strategies during the pandemic or this new normal. So, ayun po. So, thank you very much, Ms. Sarah, for conducting this very insightful webinar. Ayun po. Thank you po to the Institute of Family Life.
Ayan. Thank you, Ms. Zara. Ganyan talaga pag may mga collaboration na tinatawag sa bawat department. May mga nakahanda mag-share. So, maraming salamat.
Thank you po. Thank you.
Tama yung ginawa nga po ng ni Miss Tina, yung ating self-care 101 doon. Nandun pa rin siya. So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin kaming nangangalap ng mga information regarding how we are coping and taking care of ourselves. Ako, natuwa naman ako kanina kasi exceptional level pa pala yung aking resilience. Sumali talaga yung nagsulat. Ayan, dahil exceptional level pa ang aking resilience, sino pa po ang gusto mag-share? Dr. Yu, nandyan po kayo. Ayan. Si Dr. Yu, tsaka si Ma'am Nancy. Humabol talaga si Ma'am Nancy.
Sige.
Yes, Dr. Yu. It's you na.
Yun na, no? Ang sa akin lang is, number one, think positive, no? You always look at the brighter side and never entertain negative thoughts. Because once you entertain negative thoughts, you will be attracting negative things around you. And take the risk. Don't be afraid to take the risk. After all, kung ikaw takot ka sa risk, halimbawa, natulog ka ngayong gabi, di ba may risk na hindi ka magising kinabukasan? O, kung di ka mag-take ng risk, hindi ka matutulog. Di ba? So, take the risk. But of course, with caution. Lagi tayo, ano? Let's follow the health protocol, the basic health protocol, yung face mask, yung distancing, etc. And then, of course, if everything fixed, sabi nga pray. Pray hard. Okay, ako lagi I ask Mama Mary to help me.
Yes.
To always protect me. Okay, so pray hard. At hindi ka maliligaw At lagi kang mapipil mo na lagi kang yung confidence, no?
Marami yan.
Ayun lang. Thank you.
Yes po, Dr. Yu, maraming salamat po. Yes po, Mas Becca, may gusto po ba kayo ma-share?
Sino? Miss Sarah? Sino
Yes
po?
po. Si Miss Becca, kasi po unmute kayo, may gusto kayong i-share?
Nakinig lang po ako kay Mr. Yu, yung uncle ko, si Mr. Yu.
Uncle Yu po pala yun.
Hindi. Kasi pareho kami Yu.
Yu po at saka Dr. Yu. Ayos talaga kayo. Saya talaga gusto kumustahan, Miss Michelle.
Oo. I think like what Dr. Yu mentioned, no? You think positive. And then we have a lot of ways to do it. And then, sabi nila, it's only a joke, no? Kaya, bakit ko hahayaan ng stress? Nung may stress ako, hayaan ko yung stress na may stress sa akin. Diba? Yes. And then I have a lot of things to do here sa bahay. Para hindi mo na makukuha makonsumi. One thing is, like what I mentioned in our previous kamustahan, di ba marami kaming tanim? O titignan ko yung ampalaya ko. Kakausapin ko yung aking kamyelas, mamunga ka, and then may pinagkakabalahan akong grapes. Wow! Grapes lang. Wala akong ginawa kundi put-putin siya. Pag may bacteria, tanggalin ka. Oo naman! Ang dami ko na inani, siguro kalahating kilo. Yeah, we have a lot of and then although, for few months, hindi ako nakakagala sa kabukiran kasi sinaraan na yung backdoor dito sa amin, wala na akong weight. But still, like what Dr. Yung mentioned, isa lang ang talagang panlaban natin. don't forget to pray.
Yes.
Yan, andyan yan. So it make us strong. So lahat ng problema na yan, just leave it to God. Bahala na po kayo sa amin. Parang something that's what I'm doing for almost more than 2 years staying in Bulacan. And then just practice whatever health protocol. Sabi, bawal lumabas. Hindi ako lalabas. As long as na, once every 2 weeks, I go to grocery to buy the important one. And nowadays, I think we have problems naman, di ba, yung economy natin. So, I keep on thinking na, ano ba unahin ko, needs or wants? Doon ako sa needs. Pagka inuna ko yung wants, may stress ako, doon na lang ako sa needs. No, I mean, and then also, with the student naman, I always inform the student, like what our speaker mentioned, yung body, na if somebody have a problem, just listen. If they ask your advice, that's the only time to give advice. But if you just listen. Itita naman sa amin, wala akong pakikinggan. I'm alone the whole day. Pagdating kakain na lang yung tatlong kasama ko and then matutulog. Wala akong mapakinggan, kundi yung tahol ng aso namin. 11 aso. Yeah, and that's another way is like what our guidance counselor, yakapin nila yung pusa nila. Ako yung aso ko, I ask them, you embrace me and come on, 3 o'clock, let us pray. Kasi sila nagdarasal. Kayo, we pray early because we need to attend dito. Diba? Sama sila yung dalawa, sasama sa akin. That's the only way. So, ba't natin pahirapan yung sarili natin to yung mga negative thoughts na yan, derma lang tayo sa atin yung mga derma. Diba? And then, another things na natutunan ko pa nga sa iba, pag may problema ka, dakutin mo, itapon mo to sa hangin. Diba? Dakutin mo, itapon mo to sa hangin. Kaya mo yung hangin na maglipad. Yeah, so just, spirituality is, I think, number 1 na makakatulong sa atin.
Yes. Okay. Thank you po, Ms. Becca.
Sige. Thank you din sa inyong kamustahan. Ma'am Lina, thank you po.
Excited kayo palagi sa kumustahan. Maraming salamat. Meron pa po ba gusto mag-share? Si Dr. Mitos. Dahil, in-invite po kayo ni Doc Leo. Doc Mitos?
Hi, Doc. Good afternoon. Sharing. I agree with the statement of Dr. Rebecca a while ago. Siguro just ayun na nga, ma'am, kung ano yung problems na we're facing, just wag problemahin kasi nga nakakadagdag pa ng stress. So better siguro gano'n na lang, accept the reality, accept what is happening around. And don't forget to pray and pray. That's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Ayan. At kinunchak pa kayo talaga ni Dean Leo. Ayan na, Dean Leo, ikaw na. Nakataso na ka ba?
Yes, Leo here. May I just humbly ask the speaker to show the part where I can see the word family. Can you go back like factors? Did you present that factor? Where number 1 is family. Miss Maria, would you like to go back to that slide? Yes. There is one bullet. The first bullet is family. I think you've listed a number of factors.
Oh, yes.
Can you flash it again, please?
May I ask Sir Patrick to stop share para po ma-share ulit ni Ena. Thank you, Sir Patrick.
Yeah, kasi may very important question ako that I'd like to, insights that I would like to get from the expertise of our speaker, coming from different perspective. I'd like to see exactly your insights, your take on this. Okay, wait muna tayo sa PowerPoint ha. Kumusta kayo dyan? Umuulan ba? It's July 1. It's a
Makulimlim.
new month. Yeah, makulimlim. It's a new month. New hope, new begin. That one. Can you show everyone every bullet po?
Sure po.
Okay. My question, your
I'm
take
sorry.
on this. Okay. Do you believe there is some kind of hierarchy where we need to start with family first? Just like Bloomstock, I don't know, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Maslow's. Oh,
Are
for
you
this,
saying, yeah, because you listed family first.
So for this one, wala naman po, hindi naman siya yung talagang hierarchy, no? Pero some of the indicated factors are the following. But for me, I think na-mention ko nga rin kanina, sir, no, na sa family kasi tayo nag-start. So kumbaga doon tayo na-mold, doon tayo natuturuan on how we manage or how we handle things, no? Even the discipline, how we handle kapag meron tayong part na nahihirapan tayo, paano tayo tinuturuan. So malaking factor yon kasi that's part of our, in terms of paano tayo nabuo. No? Of course, the social environment is part, that's why kasama rin po yung sa ating macro environment, the social environment. But in terms of yung talagang magiging level nila, like the Maslow's, wala naman po, sir.
I see. Okay. My personal sharing is that in my case, I believe the be all and end all of who we are really comes from the family. Because in my case, everything that I do is really anchored on family. And in that case, for example, there is one person that I know whose family is dysfunctional. Actually, he does two things. Number one, I think there's a shift from these options because she comes from a dysfunctional family. What she does is that one, but it can be one or two, not simultaneously. Number one, he finds outlet outside the family to find happiness. Number two is that that person destroys someone else's lives so that other people's lives become, his life or her life becomes the life of others. Parang it's first it's an outlet, tapos yung Tagalog, ano yung Tagalog? Parang sige, I'm unhappy, you have to be unhappy too.
Damay na.
Parang ganun yung idea. So it goes back to the idea of really the family is a strong foundation and the core of our existence. Without these, everything I believe will break and will fall into pieces. That's why whatever you do in life, of course, after family, of course, is God, is up there. When the family is broken, everything else fails. And it reminds me of the novel Anna Karenina in 1877. And in fact, the novel begins, all happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. So it's so pathetic to know that actually, naawa ako doon sa isang, actually, mas matanda sa akin eh. But ang ginagawa niya when she goes out of that home, dinidestroy niya yung order ng isang society, ng organization. Only we learn that yun nga dysfunctional yung family niya. So that's it. So in my case, whether it's what kind of sanity that you have, to me, in my lived experiences, it all goes back to who and what your family is all about. Thank you.
Yes. Dindio, maraming salamat po for that sharing. Ngayon, may isa lang sa Facebook po, sasabihin ko lang. Ang sabi niya, medyo mahirap daw ang new normal sa mga non-techie. Ayan, yun ang sabi niya po. So, yun po. And then, ayan po.
Yes, actually, yan po ay isang source of stress din to others, no? Na kung paano mag-a-adapt pagdating sa digital age. So, there are really people na talagang masasabi natin yung effort na binibigay niya para maka-adjust or maka-adapt, talagang full na talagang beyond pa para lang yung adjustment ay magawa niya. Yun nga lang, to others talagang nagiging stressful. No? Magiging stressful din talaga. And it's important to ask help or assistance, lalo na sa mga techie. So if ever you're in a team na medyo ikaw yung hindi nakaka-adapt to it, talagang the support from the team, ayun, dun papasok yung pwedeng mag-body-body din eh. No, it's not only for psychological aspect or mental health aspect, but also in that case, pwedeng mag-body-body na, okay, baka pwedeng i-assist mo siya para hindi naman siya ma-feel na, ala, hindi yata ako belong or hindi yata ako makaka-adjust pa to this kind of techie age. So, we can have that some form of modification dun sa ating ways of coping and helping as well. Thank you.
Ayan, thank you rin po. Ang tanong lang naman dito, Ma'am Glenda, na sinasabi niya is, how can we contact you? How can we contact you? So, nagbigay naman ng email address, so we will forward na lang to you, Miss Michelle. Ayan
Alright po. Thank you so much.
Ayan po. So gusto po namin sana pakwentuhin ng mga tao. Ayan, isa na lang. Si Ma'am Nancy Felipe. Ayan, Ma'am Nancy.
Good afternoon. Sorry na late ako. Nasa kabilang Google Meet ako.
Opo.
So anyway, nakahabol ako. Nakita ko yung coping wheel. Meron palang ganon. So, sa ating resource speaker, pwede bang mag-request ng copy ng iyong presentation kasi medyo halfway na yata nung ako'y nag-in. So anyway, just want to share yung mga coping strategies, yung mga lagi naman ako nag-share doon with Miss Sarah and Ma'am Doc Lina. Okay. So anyway, sabi ko nga, pag netong new normal, parang talagang magbabago ang lahat. Minsan nakaka-stress. Tulad ng minsan hindi ako makakuha kaagad ng Grab pa uwi. So ang ginawa ko, sige, try ko nga ulit ng after 2 years mag-LRT. Yun pala merong stairs papunta dun sa carousel. So in short, sabi ko, ay tanga lang. Kasi iba yung nasakyan ko, ganyan. So anyway, during this new normal, shall we say, we also have new learning experiences. And kumbaga, problems come and go, stress come and go. So you just have to live with it and take it lightly. Have a positive attitude. So in my case, share ko lang, do not cut your connection with friends. And of course, family first, sabi nga. Actually, in our family, every month, ewan ko kung paano ginawa ng tatay ko, every month merong nagbe-birthday. So every month talaga, nagkikita kami ng family ko. Okay? So, and then, connect with friends. So, kahit ba nasa kabilang dulo ng mundo, with the technology that we have today, you could connect. So minsan, ang aga-aga naman ng marites nyo yan, sabi nung anak ko. Ay syempre, pag you connect with friends na hindi mo siya nakikita physically, you only connect through the technology, yung bang magtawanan kayo, ay magandang exercise yun. Kasi ano ba yung kasabihan? There are only one muscle to activate, to smile, and 1,000 muscles or 100 muscles to frown. So yung mga gano'n. And then, when you connect with friends, bring out, sometimes you have to bring also the child, bring out the child in you. Kagaya nung recently, some 3 weeks ago, yung mga sabi nga, yung mga thunders nagkita-kita, yung mga high school batch. So ang namin, sabi niya, wag na tayong mga magpabongga-bongga. Anong theme natin ngayon? Duster now. So lahat kami dumating naka-duster. Since yung aming PE teacher back in high school dumating from the States. So natuwa siya sa amin kasi sabi niya, kasi pag yung ibang batch ini-invite ako pabonggahan, gusto ko yung batch nyo kasi simple lang ang ano nyo, duster. Kasi marami akong duster. So, since PE teacher namin, ni-recall namin, mag-pearlish siya kami, mag-pearlish siya kami, nasa resort kami, pinagtingin ng mga tao. So, yung mga ganon, para mawala lang yung mga negativities mo inside. And then, of course, back at home, yan, sabi ko nga, nilabas ko yung aking cross-stitch, nag-crochet ako pagka yung mga dull moments na parang ayaw mo nang mag-isip ng iba. Okay. And then di ba sa Facebook ngayon, you have mga good quotes. So tinitake down ko 'yon. Meron akong isang notebook, a collection of what I call words to live by. And every time na medyo napupuno ka na ng mga sabihin mo ng stress, I try to visit and read the inspirational quotes and words of wisdom. So yun yung mga ginagawa ko. And then, of course, sabi nga ni Dr. Yu, do not forget to pray. At the start of the day, I play inspirational or worship songs, and at the end of the day, before retiring, before going to sleep, ganun din. Pray some inspirational songs to keep you calm and to keep you better and prepare for the next day. Okay, thank you.
Thank you! Ayan po. So gusto pa sana namin makipagkwentuhan, kaya lang talagang ganito talaga kami sa kamustahan. Miss Speaker, Miss Suskal, ganito talaga. So gusto nila talaga mag-share sa amin. Ayan. So thank you po for your sharing. Ayan po, I posted in the chat box po the evaluation link para po magkatulungan din tayo kung paano pa natin mai-improve ang ating kumustahan. Ayan po. So and now, we are pleased to call on our Dr. Nina B. Laigo, the Director of the Institute of Family Life and Children's Studies, for the closing remark and the giving of our certificate of appreciation to our speaker.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. We thank Michelle for a very comprehensive, very enlightening talk on psychosocial competence. Dapat lahat tayo with all the tips that Michelle gave us, dapat hindi na tayo maligaw sa buhay natin. Because what she said is not just for the normal, the new normal, but I think for every crisis that we meet in our lives every day. Thank you also for those who have shared their views this afternoon. That was good. Incidentally, Leo, regarding family life, you're talking about the family dynamics but that's already out of this question. I just want you to know that we are dealing with that also in one of our sessions. So I hope you'll be able to attend that. Yes, like it or not, we really are now beginning to live in the new normal or in the now normal. The 2 years of the pandemic has really affected every milestone of our life. Graduations of our children, missing out on party celebrations, of birthdays, anniversaries, and marriages. And for those who lost their loved ones, not being able to say their farewells and also burying them properly, no? And many more. Ang daming nangyari sa buhay natin during the last 2 years, and I just hope that we can now move on. So, what now? What does this all mean? With all the new things that have come out during the pandemic, we just want to remember that we have all the learnings that we have had. And I would like to add a few things to Michelle's list of coping strategies, and also what, in addition to what our sharers mentioned, no, it's true we have to accept the new normal or the now normal. We have to be patient and be flexible. A simple case that I'm often faced with for the last 2 years of not reporting to office, make one shun office official wear. And after getting used to housewear, medyo parang ayaw mo na magbihis, diba? 2 years of non-socializing also raises the possibility of not wanting to dress up for parties and being trendy. So ayaw mo na magbili ng damit. So without the giving in to be a losyang, I think we still have to look good though in wherever we are and whatever we're doing. Today, we start living in the new normal, and our country under a new administration is another factor that will perhaps bring in more changes to our day-to-day life. So let us be patient, let us be flexible, and let us be kinder to ourselves. Let us develop our psychosocial competence, and also remember our sense of humor, huh? Don't forget that. And of course, to pray. Filipinos, kanilang resilience factors. One is the family. Number two is our faith in God, praying, no? And the third is our sense of humor. So we are actually in the right direction there. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for all the sharing that everyone here and our participants did. And thank you, Sarah. Thank you to our ICT as well. So let's all learn from each other. Slow by slow lang tayo. Thanks.
Opo, Doc. So, we will be awarding the
Yes.
certificate of appreciation.
Yes. Can you please read it? We would now like to read.
Okay,
Can you
Doc.
read it?
Okay po. The certificate of appreciation is given to Miss Maria E. Michelle Sinuscal, RPSY, a resource person on PW Wellness Hub Kumustahan on psychosocial competence, meeting the demands of the new normal. Held on July 1, 2022 via Google Meet and PW Facebook Live, given this day of July in the year of our Lord 2022. Signed, Acting Head, Campus Life, Miss Mariel Benitez Havellana, the one who gave the opening. Signed, Dr. Dina B. Laigo, Director of the Institute of Family Life and Children's Studies, and signed by the University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez. So thank you very much, Miss Maria E. Michelle Sinuscal, for being the resource person for PW Wellness Hub Kumustahan.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity po. And it's nice to be part of this. Nakakatuwa po ang inyong kumustahan. So thank you so much po.
Yes po, thank you. Ayan, sana makakaulit pa kami at may nanghihingi ng information mo. So, email na lang namin sa iyo. Ayan po. So, maraming salamat po sa nandito. So, ang dami natin. So, 30 tayo. Plus sa Facebook po, 14 din ang nasa Facebook. Maraming salamat po. Sa uulitin, patuloy tayo magkumustahan. At ang kamustahan ay patuloy na magbigay sa atin ng kalakasan. Ayan po. So we will end this program with PW here. Ayan, we're right on time. We're good to go. And have a nice weekend, everyone.
Heart
Yes
Thank you
po.
so much.
Happy weekend, everyone.